So, Jared, have you ever had Korean barbecue?
Yes, not in a while though. It's been a minute.
Yeah, I had it one other time until this week, but that's because it's not close by, and it's kind of a pain for us to access.
Rockville or Bethesda that I went to is really good.
Yep. So one just opened up nearby and to us, and I was just there filming, but also got to partake, which was nice because then they were extra special, and they brought out the special steak that's like in the higher tier price point.
Mm-hmm.
It was yummy.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you end up eating so much meat, and then the other problem I have is
nothing wrong with that.
Those of you that don't know, like you cook the stuff yourself, kind of at your table.
It's that style, right? Oh yeah, I guess most Korean barbecue do it that way.
So yeah, so it's there. Well, my problem is then I'm just like hungry and wanting to eat it, and so I tend to eat it too soon, and you know, just a slight burn in the mouth.
Yeah. Oh, I thought you meant like. It's still too raw, but no, just
no,
too hot.
Too hot because it's like you're right on over top of this like fire grill thing, and then you're like,
I would do the same
it looks so good, and
I
then
know.
And then you're like, and then you're doing that thing where you like don't want to touch it. You're like, in your mouth too much because it's burning.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's like when you,
but worth it.
Oh, definitely. It's like when you do pizza rolls, you take them out, or Hot Pockets, same thing. You put it in your mouth. It's either ice cold or lava, and you got to do the thing where you're just like open mouth, like just trying to
kind of fumble it around in there so it doesn't land on anything too long.
Yep.
Yeah. I don't know. That's like a technique that people do without knowing. I mean, it's like everyone knows that technique, but like no one teaches you that technique.
No, it's innate in all of us. Survival instinct.
That's right. Hey, welcome back to Screen Time TV. I am your host, Josh. Jared, if you don't want the dance, keep it in your pants.
Good life lesson. What's that from?
Shrinking. Season 2, episode 3.
Nice.
To be specific. But anyway, this is my co-host, Jared.
You came back, Josh. You put your butt on the line for me. 100 Maseratis couldn't replace that.
Hey. No, and no object is more worth than the life, you know?
That's right. Yeah.
So,
especially family.
Family.
It's a little sneak peek of the movie.
Yeah.
A lot of family in that.
Family. So today we are covering The Penguin, episode 5. We will do a based or waste.
Yes.
And then, but we'll start with a little bit what we've been watching. So what have you been watching? Or do you want me to start?
Probably you, because I think you're probably going to have more than me. I have 2.5.
Okay. Well, let's go. Let's start with Shrinking season 2.
Yeah.
Kicked off. Did you watch any of it yet?
No, but I was planning on it.
Yeah. Okay. So I've watched the first 3 episodes.
Because I am caught up. Well,
how many have been out since so far?
Yeah.
And you know, first of all, I'll just say, just as good as this show is still just as good and strong as season 1.
Awesome.
The writing is so good in the show. That's the thing I always take away. The acting is too, but it's just like, you know, the show, just good writing and acting, and they just let them do their thing, right? Like, I mean, that's good. It's so good.
Especially Harrison Ford.
Yeah.
You can tell he's just having fun.
Which, that's where that line, he's the one.
Oh, he's
Paul. Yeah, that's who Paul is.
Oh, yeah, that is, isn't it? He has some of the best lines in that show, for sure.
And that's one of his lines.
Nice.
So if this is your sign, this is your moment to go watch Shrinking on Apple TV Plus. If you've not watched it, watch season 1. So good. Did you see the Instagram thing I shared also from that? It said,
no, I don't think so. I did see
live, laugh, boop.
Yep. I did see that.
Those of you that know, but and it was like a picture of the overlook with
Yep.
So hilarious.
Yeah. Yeah, and everyone, if you haven't watched it, you can catch up easily. It's short. It's 10 episodes, but they're like
30-minute episodes.
30 minutes at max.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
you can fly through it to get caught up.
Apple TV Plus.
Yep.
All right. You want to talk about anything? You want to go for one of yours?
How much do you have left?
I mean, I got but most stuff I'm not gonna really talk about that much. So just like quick mentions of things.
Okay. Yeah, I'll start with I am behind in this show, but Abbott Elementary. I'm actually very behind in the show, but I am at the end of. I'm assuming you probably are.
This is on my list because season 4 just started.
Cool. Okay.
I was gonna
All right.
shout it out because it's still awesome.
Yeah. All right. Well, we can get into that more. Yeah. I like the show a lot, but I'm at the close to the end of season 1. But I notice, kind of like with a lot of these type of shows, like the first half, like it kind of gets a stride. Like I would say the second half of the first season.
I mean, that's pretty traditional.
Yes.
Of a lot of like comedy sitcom.
Because I think that's why I didn't. Because I remember watching the first episode, even when it first came out, and I was just like, eh. But then, like as it went, I saw it was getting good reviews. A lot of people loved it. I mean, I remember you mentioned it to me before, so I was like, okay, I really need to catch up. And then, yeah, I really did like it a lot more as it went. And another reason why I want to catch up is you see the crossover that they're going to be doing.
Yeah, It's Always Sunny.
Yeah, which is brilliant. I didn't even think about it. I'm like, oh yeah, this is in Philadelphia also. Like,
and they're both now all under the same umbrella.
Oh right,
it's like FX is It's Always Sunny. This is just like a Hulu ABC show, but like, but yeah, they all
it'll all be on Hulu anyway. So
or Disney Plus for that matter,
right?
Basically.
So when I saw it on Instagram, and I think I just saw another picture of them because I think at first it was only a few of the Sunny people with them, but then they had like them on each side of the picture, like the full cast, which is awesome. So I'm very excited for that. I don't know how much they're gonna do. If they're gonna do the normal crossover where it's like an episode on Abbott and an episode on It's Always Sunny.
I haven't looked into it any more than just I heard it was happening and I was like, oh, that's a great idea.
But what's interesting is, I mean, season 4 of Abbott just started like a few weeks ago, right?
Yep.
It's Always Sunny. They haven't even said when the next season's coming out. So
it might just be only on the Abbott side, or we might not see. But
yeah.
Either way, great idea.
Yeah, very excited for that. So I need to catch up just for that reason alone.
Also, great to even think that now they're in the same universe.
Yeah. I mean, it makes sense. Like even the area that they're at in Philadelphia, like I imagine they're like, even where their bar is probably in the vicinity, So I wanted to ask you though, since are you caught up like even in season 4 so far with Abbott?
I think so.
Okay. So has it just gotten better as it's gone?
Yeah, or yes.
Okay.
I mean, I'm probably better than, like you said, like finding its footing after by the end of season 1. But I would say it's been then just as good, steady since then.
Okay, good.
It's quality.
I had a feeling that's the case, but I was curious how like season 2 and 3 went too.
It's great.
It's long too. Well, the first season wasn't, but I saw that. I don't know. Season 2 or 3 was like 20 some episodes. So,
well, I mean, it's a
technically
broadcast
right? Yeah,
show, right? Like it's still on broadcast television.
Cool.
So the episodes are also 22 minutes or something like that because of commercials.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's definitely traditional format for like
it's shot,
ABC whatever
documentary style, like The Office.
Yep.
Where they do quick side interviews with some of the.
Yeah, what I like though is it's still uniquely its own self though. Like they're not trying to play up, because I've seen this with a few other shows where they really tried to make it like The Office.
Yeah.
and it's like
But
too much.
I
in
meant
that
by like the general,
mockumentary style.
yeah, the style of the filming and it's a workplace comedy. Just
Yeah.
Cool.
Cool. Yeah. What else? What else you got?
Speaking of workplace comedies,
Okay.
I also wanted to mention the franchise on
Oh.
HBO Max. Have you watched any of this?
Yeah. I talked about it last week, but only the first.
That's right. You did.
Only
you
the
did.
first episode though. So I think there's
I've watched 3 episodes now. Yeah.
Okay.
And this is an interesting show. I find it very funny.
Yeah.
But I also am curious of I happen to fit inside this Venn diagram of probably the target audience.
Oh yeah.
Right. So
you probably get even some of the jokes because they go pretty deep on like
well, this is what I'm saying.
the background of like filming something.
Most of the jokes in the comedy is either based on film production.
Yep.
Like because it's all around the set of this movie, or there's bits that are making fun of comic book movie production and comic book movies. So you almost have to have, because like some of the stuff is like, they're making fun of like the producer or even on that, or, so it's like you have to even understand some of the levels of that stuff. So I don't know. I mean, I think it's funny.
Yeah, I do too.
Again, but it's like, I don't know.
Maybe that's why the rate, because I was mentioning, we talked about in Base for Waste, the rating was kind of pretty mixed.
Yeah.
So,
well, because like I could see a world
a lot
where
of people not getting it, maybe. Yeah.
There's a decent amount of people that just wouldn't find things funny because they just wouldn't even get it because it's it's not the world they understand. So, I mean, obviously there's stuff in there that's just general people dynamics of a workplace that
they wouldn't have it all. Yeah.
So maybe a third of the jokes you would get, but then like I feel like 2/3 of the jokes, if you're not in some kind of film production industry or into comic book movies and that stuff, like so anyway,
what's your favorite character so far
from the show?
Yeah, because I mean, I don't know, I think it might have to be, I forget his name, but Richard E. Grant's character, where I was mentioning, he's like the theater guy.
Yes.
And I guess did you watch the credits too where they're doing the interview? Remember I was mentioning?
I forgot that you mentioned that. I don't
know if they do in episode 2 or 3, but in the first episode, over the credits, they're like interviewing about the movie, and it's great.
I'll have to go back and watch that. I forgot about that, and I did not watch this.
Okay.
I did want to mention. Did you mention this last week? I don't know, but Sam Mendes directed the first episode.
Yes.
So like the opening one shot is ridiculous.
I didn't mention ridiculous. That though. Yeah. There's a lot of coordination.
Yeah, it's just like a long.
It's the whole set like that they're kind of going through.
Reminds me of the opening in the Fall Guy where it's like a long one but like
it's a good comparison.
But that was a movie. Mm-hmm. This is a TV show. So
yeah.
Anyway,
but both things are about filming a movie.
That's true, and the comedy's based on some of that stuff, which
similar,
is also So I like it, but I could see where it'd be mixed on general audience because not everybody's gonna maybe find all these things funny because they're just gonna be like, I don't understand.
Mm-hmm. I just love what they do in at least in the first episode so far, how like dismissive they are about like the fish people.
Yeah.
That whole subplot is great, but yeah. The director's just vaping constantly throughout the whole time.
Yeah, there was because you haven't watched more than one episode.
Nope.
Yeah, they do a whole like he's driving in it's either episode 2 or 3. He's driving in and he's listening to a meditation and it's like breathe in, breathe out. And every time he's like, he's vaping in every single one.
That's great. That's awesome.
So, yeah. So like something like that, anybody's going to find funny. But, cool. What else you
got? I have one other and then a trailer is my 0.5 to mention. But so the other one finally got to is Alien Romulus.
Okay.
It's not streaming, it's just VOD right now. But I I tried to go to see this in the theaters, but didn't get to. And I kind of regretted immediately the opening scene of this. I'm not going to spoil anything with the movie, but the opening scene, I could tell just sound design wise and what they do with like the feeling of being in space was really great. They do something really cool at the end too with that as well. But overall, I thought this movie was great. I heard it was good, but it's like Alien, right. You never know. Although, me personally, I think most of the Alien movies have been good.
Okay.
I have complicated history with Alien 3 because it's David Fincher, which is like, man, this should be great, but there's some really bad parts in it. And then Alien Resurrection was not great. But so with this one though, what I love is it. So timeline wise, it fits right between Alien and Aliens, which is cool.
Okay.
But what I also love is that the feel of the movie is exactly a mix between those two movies. Even though I prefer Alien over Aliens, Alien was way more very specific atmosphere, way heavily
suspense.
More heavy, suspense, sci-fi. Aliens was more just an action movie, which was still great, but I liked the feel and the approach of Alien, and this is a perfect mix of both in this movie.
Okay.
So I don't know if the director, Fede Alvarez, is he going to do more or not of this, but he did a great job. Even with the actual xenomorphs, they were all practical, which is great.
Very cool.
So yeah, definitely check it out.
Myself some practical aliens.
Oh yeah. Yeah. And actually they do it a lot. Like a lot of the stuff is tactile, like the computers, like the feel is very much keeping with the first Alien movie, which I love. I will say the only thing that was really a problem, I won't spoil it, but you see a character, a previous character, that the face for it looked bad. And it's unfortunate because
de-aging or just face replacement.
Face replacement. I don't really want to get more into that just because of who the character is, and this character was way more like I thought it was just going to be one scene in the movie. This character was way more like part of the plot than I thought it would be.
Oh, okay.
So this person's in it more than I thought. So it was a bummer because everything else looked so great visually and felt really like an old Alien movie. But then you go to this character, every time you see this character, it's like, it's bad. I got it down to, I'm like, what is the problem with this? Because Book of Boba Fett nailed now with how they did Luke and Boba Fett was like incredible compared to even from previously when he looked in The Mandalorian. So I don't know, but I figured out it is mainly just the mouth movement, which was made it bad. But anyway, so that aside, really great. So yeah,
cool.
Should check it out. I don't know. I'm assuming you were planning on getting to it anyway, right?
Probably would try to watch it at some point. Yeah. I'll go through. So, Ghost on Paramount Plus season 4 started as well, and I watched that, and that's.
I don't think
good.
I know what this is.
You don't know that this is the.
Oh, is this the British show or
it's the
American
remake
version?
The American version remake.
Okay.
But it's on season 4 now, so the American, where it's like the couple that buys this or inherits this mansion or something, and then she ends up being able to see the ghosts that are there, and basically they're all in the state that they were when they died on the property, and they can't leave the property. So you have different people from different.
I vaguely
decades.
Remember you talking about
so
this.
So it's fun because you play with that idea. Like there's
all kinds of different characters,
from like a Viking to and American Indian to like I don't know, like a travel scouts type of guy from the 80s to like the frat bro from the 90s to like nice. Just like all over, a hippie girl, like just all different for different reasons.
So it's always a random. It's not like an actual historical. person. Like
No,
you don't
they're
see
not.
like Napoleon.
No.
But it could be someone from that time.
Correct.
Okay.
Yes, you have a Revolutionary War character. You have you just, and so then they can speak to things that happened or reference things. And a lot of the comedy comes from that. Like they're like the way they react to things, now versus anyway. They so it's fun and entertainment. It's done well, and it's a good, again, another good like kind of sitcom-y kind of show. And
Have you seen the British version?
I actually have never watched the British version. I don't know if it's accessible anywhere easily or not. But this is on Paramount Plus, and season 4 just started. It's fun.
Nice.
So
Paramount Plus also very soon. I think this Sunday actually. Lioness.
Yes, this coming week. Yeah.
Excited for that.
Season 2.
Definitely talk about it next week.
Yep. Watched the movie Brothers.
I started this. I did not watch much of it though.
Yeah.
Just because of the cast.
That's why I went for it too.
Because initially I'm like, I don't know about this kind of movie, but the cast.
Yeah. And it's kind of what you'd expect. It's kind of, the movie's kind of but there's some fun scenes because of the cast.
That sucks. I thought it would at least elevate that kind of story because of the cast.
Yeah.
No?
There's moments. Don't get me wrong. There's moments, but
Okay.
it was, I would say I was a little.
I'm blanking on his name now. I know Josh Brolin, but
yeah. Tyrion Lannister.
yeah.
The actor that plays him.
Man. And then there's someone else also too, right? Besides, they're the main two.
Yeah, the lady that plays her mom. And drawing like her name too.
Okay. Yeah, I remember it was at least 3 people. But I love Josh Brolin. I mean, I love Tyrion Lannister too. The actor. I apologize for not remembering.
Right. So that was on Amazon Prime.
Mm-hmm.
Then
yeah, I think that was an actual Amazon movie, right? Yeah.
Yes, yeah. And then the Netflix season 7 of Love is Blind. I watched the first episode, barely made it through this episode. So I've never watched the show. This was the one that was for DC area.
Yeah.
And so I was like, oh, that's interesting. Maybe it'll, and I was thinking more like maybe we'd see him around like in areas that we recognize. But the first episode all takes place in the stupid pods in the room, and which I didn't even know that which makes sense now for the drama, but like all the people go back and they have like the common area for the men and the common area for the women, and they all talk trash or talk to each other about their conversations with the private conversations that they have with the other people. So
it's a great concept though, like actually doing it, like how they go into the rooms.
The idea of people getting to know each other without seeing them, so that
you have like just their silhouette,
develop a relationship or understanding of the person regardless of how they look. I don't remember them seeing a silhouette yet, so maybe they should have.
Oh, I don't know if they do that, or maybe they do that right before they actually do the reveal when they finally do.
I don't know, but but then the other interesting thing from this season, which is not that surprising, I guess, but there's a guy that went to Smithsburg that's on it.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Nice.
So I don't know him, but I know people that know him.
I just wanted to like start this season and just someone that like we just knew or at least have met before would be in it randomly. I think that would be great. But Smithsburg, I'm sure.
So anyway,
I'm sure we have acquaintances with this guy or something.
So otherwise, though, it's painful to watch. It's so painful to watch. I don't know how you people watch that stuff.
Yeah. The biggest thing with that show and a lot of the shows like it that drives me crazy is the music cues they use for like trying to get like you to like be sad or cry is awful. It is impressive though. We talked about this with Survivor too, and like in Love Island, just the turnaround time. Like it's crazy because they did the live voting. I guess not so much in Love is Blind, but Love Island, like, right? Because you're doing like live rating. I think that affects the show or something. I remember we talked about this a while ago. So it's like they're pumping these out. Like it's crazy.
So yeah, I don't know if I'm gonna watch anymore. I don't know if I can bring myself. But the last thing I have before you,
Yep.
So little Apple Vision corner, if we want to call it.
Okay.
So they released the NBA All Stars video, which again is another 4 or 5 minute video of just like clips from the NBA All Stars thing, which is basically, them playing a game, but then also doing like dunk sessions and doing all that stuff.
Cool.
And so again, it's very cool. And
Feels
it
like
just leaves you wanting more.
Courtside?
Yeah, it 100% feels like you're courtside. But they move you around some. Like it's not like you're just by watching stuff. Like sometimes they'll have you right behind the like kind of up and behind the basket and the
Nice.
the backboard.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, you feel like you're there. The one thing that was interesting to do with this is they had some of the players talking, but they weren't they were just, you hear their voice, and then they would do one of those like where they were stepping in with like the cool, like, just in like a dark studio with like some lights and stuff like around them.
Yeah.
And they would just be standing there, and that was kind of cool too, because then you were just like, again, like you feel like you're standing right there with them. So
that's awesome.
But yeah, I just want to shout that out for the 0 listeners that have a Apple Vision Pro. That's
Yep. I don't have one. Do you know when they're doing like their next, I'm gonna say short film or whatever, like the Submerged one you were mentioning?
Not that I know of. I
Okay.
know, and I know there's supposed to be more content more regularly, which it has been, but there's the sports thing, there was another. But I don't know when the next. I do know that there's some other stuff, including there's like a concert series one that's supposed to be coming. So
Okay, definitely will
yeah,
check that out.
yeah. But cool. So that's all I got. And you said you got a trailer. You want to?
Yeah, there was a final trailer for Dune Prophecy. I don't know if you saw this.
I did not watch it because like I've talked about before,
Yeah.
if it's something I know I'm going to watch, I'm just like, I skipped the trailer. I did catch that they gave it a release date.
Finally.
Yep.
Yeah. A month out from
Just about.
which is crazy. But I wanted to mention I'm very excited for this now. I was very worried for it before because it had such a troubled production.
You shouldn't worry.
I mean, true. In general, I shouldn't. It's just
don't go in with no expectations. Don't worry about it, and then just see what it is.
Well, the thing is that Dune, I mean, especially now, just I hold it in such high regard. I mean, I always loved it, but now with
and then we got Dune Messiah or whatever they're going to end up calling it coming sooner than we thought.
Yeah,
so that news came out this week too.
Yeah, I don't know if he said. Yeah, because I remember sharing the article on Instagram. I think he's almost done the script.
Oh, I just know that he kind of in a interview was like, yeah, I'm gonna
right, because he was
mentioned way sooner than I expected.
Yeah, because at first he was like, I'm gonna have a little bit of a break. Yep. Yeah. So more so just like because of those 2 movies, how just in every way, just how high quality those 2 are. Like, is it going to tarnish the movies in any way with this show? But seeing this final trailer, I was like, oh, there's some really great, especially visuals that felt similar to the movies.
That's great.
Yes. Now, I don't think it's going to be on that same level, but there was some really cool, unique imagery.
As long as the vibe is the same, I think that's what's important.
And it seems like it.
Yeah.
And so that's exciting. I think what also helps is because even in this final trailer, the CGI looked really good. But I looked, it's only going to be 6 episodes. So I think that helps.
Because it's very, what we'll be talking about soon, but it's because it's similar to Penguin, where I think they do a good job of Penguin feeling like it is in the same universe, same world, same city, in this case, as the Batman, Matt Reeves, the Batman. And so that's critical to make it feel like it's part of the same thing. And if they can pull it out with Dune, I think that's the key part. And of course, I mean, it can't suck as well, but like,
Yeah.
it needs to have like good writing and acting and stuff. But like, if that vibe feels right, then it'll feel like it's part of that Dune world.
Yep. And I think it does from this, especially this final trailer, because the teaser before that wasn't as much. Like, it didn't seem as high quality, I guess, to me. But the only thing I really don't know, because there's not much dialogue even in the final trailer, is like the actual story, like you said. Like, that's the only thing I'm not sure about. But I think at least visually it's going to be cohesive in some way to the movie. So
good.
Yep. All right. That's it.
All right.
All right. Is it that time again?
It's that time of the week.
It's time for Based or Waste.
All right. Welcome back to Based or Waste. We are going back to movies again.
Okay.
All right.
Little flip flop.
Yep. You got to get the right...
Tick. Movies, talk, TV.
Yep. You got to get in the right mindset.
Mm-hmm.
You got to shift movies or TV.
All right.
Back to movies.
All right.
All right. We have 10.
Perfect.
I think. Yes. Make sure to try to always do 10 now.
Yeah, that's a good number.
Yeah. We'll see. Hopefully, Josh, you will do better than last week's. Last week was your
last time.
Yeah, that was your worst one. Anyway, so for people that don't know about this, we Based or Waste, we basically guess the Rotten Tomatoes. I always want to say critics, not critics. Audience score. Yeah, of a TV show or a film. So I'm gonna call one out, and Josh is just gonna guess if it's good or bad, if it's Based or Waste. Are you ready?
Ready.
Okay.
Freddy.
All right. First one, The Wild Robot.
Based.
Yeah. I'm very excited for this movie, but I got to be in the right mindset because
I bet you that I know this is a side tangent, but watching this film in 3D, because some of the best looking stuff with 3D stuff in the Vision Pro is like the animated stuff,
right?
And so watching this film in 3D probably was really cool because the art style is really cool.
Art style is awesome. But yeah, I got to be I haven't watched it yet because I just know it's going to make everyone cry for sure. I heard it compared to the Iron Giant, which I'm like, man, that one,
classic.
Yep. So yeah. Anyway,
Brad Bird, man. Brad Bird.
Yes. Yeah.
Not this, but Iron Giant.
No, I know. Yeah. But this is someone big too that did this one, right? I want to say.
I don't remember. I don't know.
Okay. Anyway, this is a 98. So, which I think is the highest we've had.
Audience score. That's good.
Yeah. So, yeah.
All right.
Okay. Strange Darling. This is another movie I'm looking forward to. It might be on VOD now, or should be streaming soon. Are you familiar with this?
Yeah.
Okay.
This is a tricky one, though.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna say Based.
Yep.
Okay.
85.
Nice.
The cool thing about this is this one is shot on. I said at the start of the trailer. 35 millimeter. Does that sound right?
Can be.
Okay.
16 millimeter.
I think it was 30. I don't know. 35. I just want to make sure the number was right, at least, if that makes sense.
70 millimeter.
Might have been 70, actually.
70 is like what they use for IMAX. They're like really.
It might be something else then, because they weren't like.
35 is like the traditional, but then 16 was also common back in the day.
I don't know, because they weren't like kind of going into it and showing off like, hey, this is an IMAX movie. Because I mean, that's not the vibe of the movie anyway. So anyway, but I heard it's really beautiful looking and really unique cinematography. But all right, Alien Romulus.
Based.
I liked it, but did everyone else?
Based.
Yeah, 85.
All right.
Okay. Terrifier. Terrifier 1. Terrifier 3 just came out.
Mm-hmm. I'll say based again.
Okay. This is a waste.
Oh.
53. Apparently the new one's really good, though.
That's what I've heard. So I was like hoping, I was like banking on the fact that they made 2 and 3, that I was like, yeah, most people probably like it then, but I guess not.
I think 2 is rated high also. I think this first one was just...
A dud.
I know they're low budget anyway. It's like
so they probably made money enough that they were like, even if most people didn't like it, it's
yeah. It's doing like crazy well, apparently, though.
Sometimes people forget the movie industry. It is a business.
Sure is.
They make most decisions based on business decisions, not like, hey, what would be cool to make? They like, what's going to make money?
That's why they bank on horror so much, because they can keep it very low budget.
Yep.
And it normally does really well.
Yep.
Not always, but normally pretty well. You can good return on
you can get away with making low budget stuff and still getting people to show up to watch it.
Mm-hmm.
You make a low budget other things and no one shows up to watch it.
Yeah.
Because theoretically,
yeah,
a low budget comedy or drama should be cheaper than even a low budget horror, because low budget horror,
true,
you got to have all the the fancy like makeup and like costume stuff for like any kind of like you need blood, all that stuff. Whereas like the other stuff, you can just got people talking, people talking, but they don't do as well. So
no, people show up for
horror in the theaters. Yeah.
Okay. Blink Twice. This one I'm not familiar with.
Blink Twice. Yeah. Another probably horror.
Maybe. I don't know. I put it on here for a reason. I must have recognized it in some way, but I think it might be horror, yeah.
Let's say based.
Okay. 70.
All right.
This next one, I'm not sure if we did it or not, but we'll do it anyways. Twisters.
Oh, based. I'll say based on that.
Okay. Yeah.
I don't remember if we did it or not either, but
91.
Oh wow. Okay, that's higher than I thought.
Yeah. You've seen this. I have not seen this yet.
Yeah, it's fun.
Yeah. I need to watch it. I don't need to watch the original, honestly, again, because the original one was great also.
I did know that I think it's in the top 10 for box office for this year.
Oh, wow.
So
nice.
Because I just recently saw somebody recapping like so far box office for the year. And anyway.
Is Dune on there?
Yes.
Okay, good.
Yes.
I want that movie to do as well as possible. Yeah. All right. VHS Beyond. So obviously there's going to be a lot of horror.
Mm-hmm.
This time of year.
Based.
No. Waste. 56. By the way, when I go through these, I'm going through kind of the trending, which changes a lot. But yeah, that's why there's a lot of horror up right now, because...
Makes sense.
Yeah. All right. Got 3 more. So you're down 2. I think you missed 2 spots.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. Reagan. I want to say this is Dennis Quaid is in this, and it's actually a pretty good cast. When I saw this.
Yeah.
So you're familiar with this?
I've seen a trailer.
Okay.
Let's say based.
Yeah. Wow. This is also actually 98, same as Wild Robot, which is crazy. This one's really interesting. I have a parentheses in here. This is how crazy the difference can be. The critics' score on this is 18, which is one of the lowest I've seen also. So the divide in this is insane. That could have to do with politics. I don't know. But yeah.
Oh, right. Yeah.
It's
because it's about Reagan.
Yeah, it's just crazy, that difference though, from 98 to 18. But all right, 2 more. The next one is Daddy-O. This is another movie I want to watch. This is oh man, it's on the tip of my tongue. This actor.
I'm gonna say based.
Yeah, 88. Man, I'm so mad. I can't think of this guy's name. He's one of the greats, one of the great actors. Anyway, yeah, this movie looks interesting though. It's kind of a lot of it is just like two people having a conversation in a taxi, which is cool.
Yes.
So you're okay. So you knew
Yeah,
about
because
this
it's
one
got
too?
what's her name in it in the back, right? Sitting in the
Oh
taxi.
yeah, the girl is sorry to the people listening.
Yes.
I gotta look this up. This is gonna let me take a couple seconds. I can't believe I'm blanking on his name
Yeah,
too.
yeah.
Though.
I'm with you. It's terrible.
Sean Penn
Yes.
and Dakota Johnson.
Yep.
Yeah.
I could see their faces.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So most movies just them. Like,
yes. No, at least it looks like it is.
Yeah.
All right.
all right. Last one.
Yep.
Kinds of Kindness. This is the other new movie from the Poor Things director. I still need to watch that also. Poor Things. I think I started it. I didn't finish it.
I'm just gonna say waste.
You are correct. 49. Poor Things was rated high though,
Yeah.
which is interesting. This one not great apparently. All right.
That was just a gamble.
Yeah.
I really had no
I
idea.
know. That one that could go either way. It's like M. Night Shyamalan. It's always
Well, that's kind of what I was thinking. I was like, it's a little bit more controversial director.
oh yeah.
I was like, normally if you do one that everyone likes, then it's almost like impossible for them to do another one that anyone likes. So,
True.
and I knew Poor Things everyone liked. So
Yeah.
I was like, that was what I was basically banking on.
Yeah. All right. Well,
It's almost like they have to rebel. They're like, yeah, no. Because
I know.
it's like they don't really want to make anything anybody likes. So then when
Mhm.
somebody likes something, you're like, oh, dang it. Now I have to go even crazier.
Yep. All right. So pretty good.
8
You
out of
got-
10?
Yeah. 8 out of 10.
Redeem myself
Nice.
from
You
last
did.
week.
Yeah. Yep. All right.
All right.
Thank you for playing, Josh. That has been Based or Waste. Tune in next week. Might go back to TV. We'll see how much new TV there is. But
There's a lot. So
yeah, there is.
cool. All right. Well, let's get into our main attraction here.
Mhm.
The Penguin, episode 5, Homecoming. With his nascent operation at stake, Oz makes a desperate move to turn the tables. Meanwhile, Sophia strives to build a new legacy for herself.
Hmm.
All right, so overall thoughts on this episode?
I thought this episode flew by. I really liked it. And man, no spoilers yet, but man, a lot of deaths, which I was surprised by. But no, I still think the show is strong. At least to me, doesn't seem like it's dipped in quality at all.
Okay. It's not to say I strongly disagree, but
okay.
I feel like this was my least favorite episode. I think it shifted a little bit the pacing. I think it moved a little away from character development based, which was we were up until this point. A lot more focused on the individual characters.
Right.
And just moved into like, let's make a bunch of crap happen so that we can move the story along.
Yeah.
Which most of the things happening, they were cool, entertaining things that are happening, but it felt to me, it felt like a big shift in like the style of the show.
Yeah.
And I don't know if that's because they're like, crap, we got to get a bunch of stuff done now before to get to the point where we want to end on this. What point they want to end at, like. Because then, the question really is, are they having the Marvel problem? Where they,
Oh man, I hope
are they
not.
trying to line things up so that when it ends, they want this, this, and this in a certain place, so that when the next Batman movie, the people are in the place that they need to be like part of or things need to be set up for that. I don't know. I just never thought that going up until this point, but this episode made me think about that because there was so much stuff that just got like shuffled around and like it was almost like I threw it into little thing and shook it up and then be like,
Man, I hope that's not the case. Because I mentioned that last week. I was hoping that this is a good bridge between the first movie and going directly into the next movie. I mean, there was definitely a lot more action. And I think maybe that's why it flew by for me. Like, I thought this episode was just really quick, even though it was normal length. But you're right. It was definitely a lot more action and just, not the same tone, I guess, as the other ones, but still felt the cohesion like we just were talking about with like,
production
look and
value
feel.
wise.
Yep.
Yeah, it's just like the either editing or writing shifted definitely.
Yeah.
So I don't know if it was, again, was there more written and they just cut stuff out for time because they were like, hey, I don't know, or for production budget, I don't know. But just felt like it shifted. It was like went into a different gear. It was like, oh, we were going at a 2 and now we're going at a 7 or something.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, this is like I would say probably the start of the third act. This is just like a really explosive third act. And well, it also I would thinking about this also though. Big difference also from last week's was like the complete opposite side. It was very slow.
Actually,
and
speaking in the terms of your, oh, sorry, I feel like I cut you off.
No, that's it. Yeah.
No, as you were, it's just like I was starting to think of like first act is episode 1 and 2.
Yeah, it's all set up. Yeah.
And then this episode was the third act, or I mean the second act. And then because episode 3 and 4 were just flashbacks, backstory.
3 was like that too. I mean, 4 was all Sophia. 3 had the intro that was
flashback from
Victor. Yeah.
And then,
but the rest of it
wasn't anything from Penguin flashback stuff. I feel like there was.
I don't remember for episode 3.
Oz. Maybe I'm from. I guess because that's where they started handing out the. That's true. They did. That was where they handed out the bliss.
Yep.
So then that wasn't all about flashback. Okay.
Yeah, but it was a mix of that.
But that was the start. Probably start of the second act, and then, but then they had to, because of last episode, they had to cram a bunch of stuff in this one. So.
Yeah.
Because you're probably right. Like after this will be the third act, like the final stuff happening. So, anyway, it just felt like it rushed a bunch of stuff and didn't. I mean, I have notes when we get into specifics. Yeah. So, so let's get into it. Spoilers for episode 5. All right, so we start out with Oz burning his Maserati, right?
Yeah. Yep. I think this is where my quote comes from. Yeah, because he says it to Victor.
Yes, he does say that to Victor. Yep. Yeah, so he does that. Then he has his plan to kidnap the Maroney's son,
Taj.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is my first note. Was this scene I thought was really great. His crew like coming into the tattoo shop. And the way you see like him with the headphones on, you see it all happening in the background. That was really cool
because it's from his perspective.
Yeah, I like that
audio wise. Yeah, no, that was well done for sure. But yeah, they can come in shooting a bunch of people, and then
Well, it's so funny the setup to it also because it's just like this dude has no awareness at all. Like he's just on TikTok, like he's just putting it out there where he is and what he's doing. So.
Yeah,
it's very easy for them to
like has no idea that like his life was
in jeopardy in any way.
Yeah. So then of course he goes and meets with the Maronis and it says, "Hey, I got your son. I need all the bliss back in exchange for him."
Yep.
And so they set up that they're going to be a trade at some point for this. And then as he's leaving, it was interesting. I thought there was a cool way to bring it back in. But he like sees he tells the one guard to kill the guy, gives him like code. But then the news story about seeing all the people dead from the other family,
Yep.
Yeah, I'm drawing a blank their name. Yeah, Sophia's family. But yeah.
Oh, Falcone?
Falcone,
Yeah.
yes, Falcone. They, you see them, that they're almost all dead. Yeah. So,
Yeah.
on the news. So he finds out. Then we see the scene where the chief of police guy, this guy's voice.
Yeah.
Like,
I recognize this guy because I've seen him in other things, and obviously his voice too is very
distinct.
yes. Yeah.
Yeah, but he was in the Batman as the chief of police.
Was he?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Nice. That's cool. They got at least some
Little crossover.
crossover besides obviously Oz.
So then we see her torturing because they're like, well, one person's missing, and then we cut to Viddy that she keeps right in the basement or whatever.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of crossing but like that stuff, and then he convinces her to keep him on.
Yep.
And then as soon as she gets what she needs out of him, she kills him. Right.
Mm-hmm.
And it's, I don't know. There's like some of the stuff is like kind of sort of like it's like, did you need to keep him around? Like I feel like that was like extra, right? Like writing.
I see what you mean. Yeah.
Makes sense. Like because you're just gonna kill him later in the episode. He could have just died in the previous episode, and then.
Well, I think the point is, because that scene, like a little bit later, is a standout, I think. But I think the point was for her to kill him in front of everyone, to kind of set the tone for her running. Because, well, I'll just say now because of that. My note on that is, for her new family now, right? She talks about that. The Gigantes.
Mm-hmm.
So killing him at the table. I mean, even again, we talked about this already, but I'll shout out again. The outfits. Her outfit was sick in this.
Mm-hmm.
And her walking in, they did this really well with obviously the way they filmed it too. And yeah, so I think that was partially why she was like, "Oh, I'm going to do this too."
Okay. Yeah, I see it. See what you're saying.
Yeah.
There's also like it was cool with the outfit. I guess I had a note about it. It was cool to see like it's almost like her coming in her own as the villain that she is,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because I
mean, also the leader, the boss now too. She's
right.
She's the head of the family.
Yeah. Yeah. So that whole thing was the only other thing I had about that whole storyline until we get to the end. Was then her old psychiatrist like showing up and being like, "I'll do whatever you want."
Yeah.
This guy.
Yeah, I don't know. This guy, yeah, when that scene with him, I don't know. His approach is I don't know. He's just simping a little too hard for her.
Yeah.
It seems.
For real.
It's not great, but I mean she recognized that and she takes advantage of it. I mean,
yeah,
she needs people like that in her new family. So
for sure. So then Oz goes to his girl.
Yep.
She kind of like she's scared. No, the first time he tells it, he meets Caesar, but it's later. So he goes and meets for the exchange.
Mm-hmm.
And the guy's dripping wet.
This was very cool because I was not expecting
So
this to be the outcome.
this is what I thought it was.
Okay.
I literally I was like, he's dripping. Oh, why is he dripping? And then I was like,
Yeah, I didn't
oh.
put that part together.
And I was like, oh, I bet you he's in he's dripping gasoline. So as soon as he gets over there, now, cool idea, but at the same time, like, why would she stay there, standing there, holding him, knowing what was coming?
well, she didn't know that was going to happen.
Yeah, like the flames are going up the.
Oh, well, that was quick enough. I thought you meant before that.
No, and then like, why wouldn't you like jump away? Instead, she just embraces him and burns together.
Yeah, no, that part of it is more just. I mean, you got to do it for the visuals of it, and yeah, that's a little bit of a suspension of disbelief for sure.
Yeah.
In that scenario, yeah. I'm kind of bummed that she's out of the picture now too, because I mean, she was the one I shouted out before. I really liked her, and she's a good character in this. But it was surprising. I didn't realize both of them were gonna die in that scene.
Yeah, and then of course,
That's Nadia and Taj.
and then the other guy, they're the father / husband,
Salvatore Maroni.
Salvatore. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's in hiding now.
Yeah. Well, so then the guy that he paid to try to kill him tries to kill him, and then he's not successful. So this is the other thing. This is what I'm talking about. Like jump, like things.
Yeah, that is a lot. You're right, because he was still in jail then. And
he's
then,
like out of jail,
and then he's in hiding. Yep.
And they showed the place is like Alcatraz. Like it's like an island, isn't it? Like they.
Yeah, Arkham. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, no, you're right. That is a lot happening. Like you don't even see
just
him.
because you have keys from a guard does not mean you can just magically get out of jail. Then all of a sudden. So I was like, "What? This guy's out of jail?
Yeah.
Like this doesn't."
It is. No, you're right. It is actually just like Alcatraz because it is on an island, even right?
Yeah.
Arkham. Yeah.
Yeah. So I was like, I was like, what the heck? How'd this guy get out that easily? And he's just like, oh, thanks for the keys.
I mean, they're a big family. They have a lot of connections. I'm assuming he just had enough people help him get out of there, but I don't know why that was the time to do it.
I don't know. It was just, these are the kind of things where it's like, I'm like, wow, we're jumping way ahead.
Moving forward a lot, yeah.
And it's like jumping over a lot of stuff, and which they hadn't been doing that.
No.
So like I said, the pacing went from a 3 to like a 7 or something. It was just, it's where it threw me off.
Yeah.
And mainly because I was enjoying it. It's kind of like the same thing happened like in Game of Thrones, like the later seasons.
That was to the extreme though. But
it was like the later seasons.
They were basically teleporting because it's like there's no other way you can.
Not just teleporting, but like they're skipping over the character development, just like having the action. It's the same with this. Like they were so focused on the character and the interactions of the characters, and then all of a sudden this episode's like bam, 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 like a bunch of just action happening.
Yeah, and even we mentioned end of House of the Dragon season 2, a little bit of that also.
Yeah,
a little bit of teleporting going around, but I wanted to, because I really only have one other note besides this, but because I don't know if you're. Because there's a little bit of the plot in it, but again, just like before, any scene with Oz's mom is a standout, and I thought this was really good when Victor goes to see her. I don't remember where it is in the episode though, so I didn't know if you're going to get to
It's like right after he finds out, I think. And
that makes sense
right after he finds out that
Victor has to get her out of there, and
because Maroni is not dead,
hiding also.
And he's like, okay, you got to get out of there, take her somewhere, wherever, I don't know. And then he goes to the house, and then you're right, like that whole thing was really good, and that was like a character moment, right? Like that was, and then again with her later when they get to the apartment, like that stuff.
Yep.
With Oz as well when he's there. Like all that.
Yeah.
That stuff is good.
And they talked about, I don't remember what the area they called it that they were in, but like, because you see the guy outside even when they're trying to sneak her in, and it's like, this is his area that he's controlling.
Yeah. It's basically where Victor grew up. That's
and Oz too, because you mentioned they grew up
because then they get to
right in the same area, and the place even felt like he was
then he remembers about the old underground trolley stuff.
Yeah,
and they go to that spot, which that part was cool.
Yeah, that was good.
But so there's that. But then we have the other end part, which is when Sophia basically knows where the Maroney guy is hiding after he got out of jail. Just shows up at this like remote house in the woods. Right, we had the house in Fargo.
Basically, yeah.
That's what it looked like.
It did.
And she shows up, but then she could have killed him, obviously, and then she proposes a say truce is
somewhat of an alliance.
Because we both want to get rid of the penguin.
Yeah.
So, and that's kind of where we end on things.
Yeah. Well, there's the main thing also is Oz taking Victor to kind of their new base of operation.
Yeah, underground trolley stuff.
Yeah. Well, I want to mention specifically with that is when they're walking to that, there is a really great needle drop I wanted to shout out.
Oh, okay.
It's the song is called "A Forest" by The Cure. Love that song. It was a great choice for the ending of this. So,
yeah. Like I said, that area looked cool, but
yeah.
So it'd be interesting to see where this goes. So how do you think? So how do you think this is ending? Is the penguin alive at the end of this?
Oh yeah, I don't know.
Is Sophia alive at the end of this? Salvatore Maroni alive? Like who's
actually surviving?
Who makes it out of this season, and where are they in accordance of power? I mean, maybe they're all still alive. I don't know. I'm just.
I don't think Oz is dying, even though Colin Farrell hasn't really said anything. But he probably doesn't want to do all that prosthetics again after doing a whole movie and 8 episodes of so
plus he's got season 2 of Sugar to film, so he's good.
Oh yes, I saw it. They're doing that. I was excited because I was worried that was going to be a one and done because it didn't seem like it was that popular. But we both really liked it.
It's kind of weird. I don't think a lot of people watched it, but I think everyone that watched it loved it.
Yeah,
because it was but
also just crazy ending. How like
crazy
far they go there
through
and halfway through. Yeah. I'm not sure because I mean, what I was mentioning I think last week was it's definitely set the next Batman movie. It's very snowy Batman Returns kind of vibe. I don't know if it'll be actually at Christmas time or not. But so villain wise, probably Mr. Freeze, but I don't know. Like they haven't really said anything about that. But so I don't think Oz is going to be involved in that. But he could if they're trying to keep that vibe. I mean, that was the main bad guy in Batman Returns was Oswald Cobblepot, the Penguin. So I don't know. I hope Sophia stays in it because she's just a great character. And it'd be cool for her to continue into the movie as well. I think that would be awesome.
Yeah.
Victor, I think he's going to eventually go off with this girl like he was trying to do,
Yeah. Okay.
I think he's going to get out of it eventually working for the Penguin. What do you think?
Yeah, I think either Victor dies or he leaves town. I think the Penguin's mom dies before the end.
Her condition and
I think she's going to get killed because it's going to push him over the edge. I think that's going to be what pushes him to go full evil, because he's still like borderline trying to be like the good guy, but it just happens to do some crime, not like, and I think that'd
be interesting. Yeah.
And then I think they keep Sophia around. I think that she'd be good too, because I think she's going to lose power, and I think the Penguin's going to end up be positioned to ascend to power. I feel like, but he's not going to have full power yet, because that gives him some gap of time, so they can like decide what they want to do. If they want to have him still be like not full power mob boss in the next film, because then they can kind of have him as ancillary. They could do a second season of this if it does well enough, and people, I mean, it's like you say that Colin, but there's enough money involved.
Sure.
Most of the time people, you're like, well, what if we pay you twice what we paid you?
Yep.
And you're like,
you're
like, man, 20 million? Okay, I'll do it. Whatever. I don't know, whatever the number is.
He calculates, he's like, well, I sit in for getting all the prosthetics on like hours just for like to getting ready for it. And it's like, while I'm sitting there, I'm making this much.
Yeah. At some point there's a number, right?
Oh yeah.
So,
well, I mean, and they are calling this a miniseries, but that doesn't matter anymore either. We have examples of that.
So like you could set stuff up so that you kind of leave both Sophia and the Penguin as like ancillary characters that don't have to be the main bad guy in the next film.
But they're still around, yeah.
But I could see, like, because I think she's going to look like she's come to power, but then he's going to pull off basically setting himself up for power. And then she's going to get taken down a peg. And this is just my, like, from a story standpoint, like, feels like right for the end of this. And Victor will just disappear, because that way they don't, and then like I said, I think his mom will die. Oz's mom will die, get killed by either the Maroney guy or Sophia. And then so it'll put some conflict between them, set up for him pushing into full bad guy mob boss. And then you just kind of let it happen. I mean, then you leave gap of time. Then they can deal with it or not, or it can just be a side conversation in the next film. And then if you decide you're going to do more with it later, you can, or introduce it in a third film. There's like, you kind of, you can leave things kind of open-ended enough, but still feel like it brings this miniseries to like a point of, let's say not complete, but like feel like a full story arc.
Yeah. Well, I do hope that, just like the way they started this, which was immediately after the movie, like I said, I do hope that it leads right up to the events of the next movie. Like a perfect kind of bridge between the two, I think would be great. I am thinking someone that I think would be awesome if they would show up in this somewhere in these last 3 episodes at some point is Zoe Kravitz as Catwoman. I think that would be sick, because I don't think, like we were talking about, I don't think Robert Pattinson's going to just show up in this, but Zoe Kravitz, that would be interesting. And I think they could.
Or Jeffrey Wright.
Yeah.
Just, bring somebody.
Yeah. True. Yeah.
Is he the commissioner? So, that's who he was.
Yeah. Or is he commissioner yet in this version? I don't know.
Can't remember if he was. I don't think he was. I don't remember now.
I don't know. There's too many different Batman worlds now, and I don't know where he's at in this one, but yeah, that'd be interesting too. What's cool is, this is a little side note, but really cool. I saw Jeffrey Wright. He is reprising his role as the character he played in The Last of Us 2, the video game, because he did a character in that. He's doing it in the season 2 of the show, which I thought was cool.
Very good. Cool. Well, any other last thoughts about this episode or the Penguin?
No. I'm still very much looking forward to these final 3 episodes.
Yeah, same. Yeah, I mean, I didn't hate this episode.
Yeah.
Just I was like, whoa, this is a shift, and kind of my least favorite, but
yeah, definitely a shift. Yeah,
but still looking forward to seeing where it goes.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, well, let us know your thoughts on any of the stuff you watched, what you based or waste.
Yep.
Other things you've watched that you think we should talk about, or something we should watch, or The Penguin. Any thoughts on this episode of The Penguin, or so far the show The Penguin? You can
let us know what we should do once The Penguin's over. We have ideas of what we're going to cover next, but
yeah, if you have something specific,
yeah.
But yeah, so any of that, you can leave a comment on YouTube, or you can also email us at feedback@screentimepod.com. And please like and subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or YouTube. And if you'd like, you can follow us on Instagram. I'm at JYoungBar.
And I'm at Jared Youngbar.
All right. Catch you guys next time.